The morning sun painted Maple Glen in hues of honey and blush. It was the kind of day that made you believe in slow, gentle things. The sway of trees in the wind, the whisper of old porches, the comfort of warm coffee in a chipped mug. Lila Campbell stood barefoot on the front steps of her modest, white-paneled home, holding Rosie close to her chest. The baby squirmed sleepily against her shoulder, cheeks pink and eyes fluttering. Somewhere behind her, the low jingle of tags signaled Max's quiet approach. The golden retriever had grown quieter over the last year. Like Lila, he too was grieving. But grief was different for animals. It settled into them not as sorrow, but as devotion. Max followed Lila everywhere now. Always near. Always watching. Lila kissed the top of Rosie's head. "You know your daddy would have loved you so much," she whispered. The wind rustled the wind chimes, one of Sam's favorite little touches around the house. He'd hung them the day they moved in, calling it instant peace. Lila used to roll her eyes at how sentimental he was, but now every chime felt like a memory brushing past her shoulder. Sam had died the same day she heard Rosie's heartbeat for the first time. A truck. Black ice. One of those tragedies that made no sense, that turned laughter into silence in seconds. In the months that followed, Lila's world collapsed inward. Sleep came in fragments. Food lost its taste. Even Max, who had always been full of energy and silliness, lay still and silent by the door for days. But Rosie changed things. Even before she was born, she gave Lila a reason to keep going. She started sketching again, reading baby books, taking long walks with Max. Not because she was okay, but because Rosie would one day ask her about her father, and she needed stories to tell. Rosie was 3 months old now, chubby, curious, fond of making high-pitched coos at the ceiling fan. Her laugh sounded like sunlight. That afternoon, Lila had laid Rosie in her bassinet by the living room window and opened her laptop, intending to respond to a client's email. She never made it to the first sentence. A kettle whistled from the kitchen. She got up. "Just a minute," she murmured. "Max, watch her." Max lifted his head, ears alert. The kitchen was only 10 steps away. Lila poured water over her tea bag and let it steep. She looked through the small cutout window that overlooked the living room. Rosie was where she'd left her, squirming gently, eyes on the swaying curtain. Max sat nearby, watchful. Then came a noise. The kind of noise that wasn't quite loud but still wrong. A click. A metallic creak. The front door. Lila frowned and stepped back into the hall. "Max," she called. No response. The door was open. Barely. But enough. Her heart stuttered. She walked faster now, crossing the living room. The bassinet was empty. "Rosie," she whispered, voice cracking. "Rosie." The open window. The curtain blowing. Panic gripped her like a vice. She raced outside. Max was already sprinting across the yard, barking. That primal, full-throated sound that dogs only make when they're not playing. Lila followed, barefoot and wild-eyed, stumbling over uneven grass and fallen leaves. Down the slope behind the house, where the woods began to thicken, she spotted flashes of gold, Max weaving between trees. And then a figure, a man, hunched, clutching something wrapped in a pink blanket. "Rosie!" Lila screamed, the sound catching in her throat, half sob, half roar. The man turned his head, startled, and picked up speed. But he didn't count on Max. The retriever lunged with terrifying precision, knocking into the man's side and sending him crashing to the ground. The man tried to scramble up, one hand gripping Rosie, but Max was already circling, barking so viciously the trees echoed. Lila didn't feel her legs as she ran, didn't notice the twigs scratching her arms or the rocks slicing her feet. She caught Rosie as the man dropped her, a weight so precious it made her knees give out. Rosie was crying. Alive. Safe. The man stumbled and ran. Max gave chase for a moment, then returned, pacing like he was still on high alert. His tail stiff, his breath ragged. Lila sobbed into Rosie's tiny shoulder, rocking her. Max sat beside them. Protective. Unshaken. He had done exactly what he was asked. He had watched her. 3 weeks later, the police investigation revealed the man had been watching the neighborhood for days. He'd picked the house thinking it was quiet, easy. He hadn't expected the dog. Max became a local hero. The town paper ran the story. Dog saves infant from abduction in miraculous rescue, with a grainy photo of Lila, Rosie, and Max on the front lawn. Strangers sent gifts, handmade collars, painted portraits, offers to tell their story on national TV. Lila declined it all. She didn't want the world watching her cry. Instead, she spent her days reclaiming peace. She and Rosie would sit in the garden, wrapped in a blanket, while Max lay nearby with one ear always turned toward the wind. Sometimes Lila would talk to Sam, out loud, like he could hear her. Sometimes she believed he really could. Max saved her, Sam, she said one evening, tears slipping down her cheek. He really saved her. That night, Max didn't sleep near the door, or at the foot of Lila's bed. He slept next to Rosie's crib, his body curled just beneath the rail, like a silent vow.